During my 10th grade year of high school, I had plenty of friends, or at least I thought I did. I talked to people just because we were in the same class, so all we talked about mostly was homework or the test or people in our class, and it didn't really felt meaningful. It didn't feel true. It was just kind of a coincidence. Like we were just talking to each other just because we were next to each other in class. And despite being around so many people and being, I guess, well known, or you could say popular,
Girl, shut up.
um, I felt lonely. And mind you, during this year, I had not truly known who God was. But during this experience, it showed me the difference between meaningful godly friendships and just shallow connections. Friendships are a huge part in our lives, and we all want to feel connected and we all want to feel that love and support. But how often do we focus on the number of friends that we have rather than nurturing the friendships that truly really matter? Godly, meaningful friendships are essential for our lives to help not only support and help us grow, but to help us navigate life's challenges, to have that support that we need in those dark times, by also reflecting God's true meaning of companionship. Because it helps our emotional, our mental, and spiritual growth by having true godly friendships. So I was doing a little research and I found a study on personal relationships that says strong bonds can increase your overall happiness and satisfaction in life. And a few years back, when I was spending the night at my best friend's house and we were just having fun, and I got a call from my dad telling me that my tío, my uncle, had passed away. And if you ever lost a loved one, you kind of just go blank and you don't really know what to think. And for me, I just broke down crying and I didn't know what to think. I just cried. And my best friend had walked out at the time when I got the call. And when she came back, she didn't she didn't really ask any questions. She just came over and hugged me and just consoled me, and she was just there for me. And then I told her what happened, but that warmth, that love that she gave me helped me. It it made me joyful and feel at peace inside because I knew that somebody was there for me to help me get through this situation, to help me get through this time. And it reminded me that she reminded me that he was in a better place and it's gonna be okay. And that just that's just one of 100 examples how friendships can really help you in a way that really nothing and nobody else can. Like it's having those meaningful friendships are truly something that we need because God designed us for meaningful companionship. He said in Genesis 2:18 that then the Lord said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper who is just right for him." In this context, yes, it is Eve being made for Adam, but he had made it for because us humans are not, we are designed to have companionship. We are designed to have that support from one another. And it reminds us that the relationship that is part of God's design in our lives, that He has created us for companionship and community. That's why it's not okay to be alone. That's why there's so many, like, that's why a lot of churches so emphasize the part of having friendships, having group time, getting into groups, getting into serving, because you are able to meet other like-minded believers. You're able to meet other people and have companionship, to have one another. Another point is meaningful friendships it can improve both our mental and physical health. There was a study on the Harvard study of adult development, and it followed a lot of patients since 1830 1938, and it found that people with strong relationships live longer and healthier lives. That's saying something. And friends satisfy us by encouraging us to live out God's will. It says in Galatians 6:2, share each other's burdens and in this way obey the law of Christ. We are supposed to share each other's issues. We're supposed to share each other's hearts. Um, when I used to play basketball, at the end of each practice was always brutal. And if you've ever played a sport, you know they always make you run at the end of practice. After having an hour, 2 hours long at practice, they make you run. Okay? And during basketball, you either do suicides or we sprint back and forth in a limited time. And if you didn't make the time, we had to do it again. And it was so hard. But my teammates and I, during these brutal practices at the end, we always would cheer each other on and encourage each other. We would say like, "Oh, we got this. We're almost there. Come on, you can do it." And especially like when some one person reaches already the the end of whatever we were doing, then and then the last person we'd always encourage each other on. And those words kept me going. Like when I felt like I wanted to slow down, those words were like, "Come on, if my teammates are cheering me on, I have to do it. Like I can do it." And that reminded me that we were in this together. We were going through this practice together. And it's just, it benefits us. These friendships, these relationships, mm, they benefit us and they help us grow. They help us stay healthy. They, instead of going through these burdens and these trials and these storms alone, we have others to help us get through it. Think of a time when you had a difficult day or a week or even a month. You probably wanted to talk to somebody about it. You probably wanted to let everything out and let it out to someone who would listen without judgment and offer encouragement and remind you that you're not alone in this time. And what's true about meaningful friendships and what's amazing about them is that they can bring peace. They can bring reassurance even in the middle of life's hardest moments. Having that connection with someone, not someone's,
You stupid.
but someone, you have each other for those times. And it's just amazing what true godly friendships look like. They reflect God's design by being rooted in love, trust, and mutual care. And these are the people who celebrate your successes and help you with your struggles. They're not fake. They're not going these like these truly this is what it's supposed to look like. They're not supposed to tear you down. They're not supposed to make fun of you behind your back or even to your face. They're not supposed to go behind your back and do things. That's not what true godly friendships look like. It says in Proverbs 27 verse 17, it says, an iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. We, as Christians, yes, we're supposed to have fellowship, but also our friendships are supposed to help one another grow. We are supposed to help us grow in our faith and in our lives and as people by praying for us, by holding us accountable to live according to what God says. True godly friendships are supposed to tell you when you're not doing something, when you're not supposed to be doing something, or when when you think it's a good idea, but it truly isn't. They're there to keep you accountable. They're there to help you make a better decision. And trying to maintain those friendships is tiring. It's exhausting. When I was in public school, everybody knew my name, Mercedes. Everybody knew it because it was easy to remember because it's a car brand, obviously. So a lot of people knew my name, a lot of people remembered my name, and but nobody really knew who I was. Yes, they knew my name, but they didn't really know my heart. And only the couple of people, like one or two, three maybe, three or four that I truly spent time with knew my heart and knew who I really was. And it was those few meaningful friendships that made me feel seen, made me feel heard. It made me feel valued and not caring about what everybody else said and whatever rumors were going around. They helped me, they reassured me, they gave me peace, knowing that it doesn't matter what everybody says, it only matters what God says. And by focusing on those small group of friendships, you can dedicate your energy to those relationships by creating the bonds that reflect God's design for community. Jesus modeled the beauty of friendship perfectly. He had 12 disciples out of, he could have picked so many more, but he chose 12. And even in that 12, he had that small group, Peter, John, and James. That small group of friends, because even it said that John was highly favored by Jesus. He loved him. And Jesus showed the value of prioritizing truly deep quality in friendships instead of over quantity. Godly, meaningful friendships are essential for your emotional, mental, and spiritual growth. So this week, I encourage you to take time out of this week to invest in a meaningful friendship. Reach out to someone you trust. Ask them how they're doing. Offer to meet up, go get some coffee, or even pray with them or pray for them. And just because intentionality is the first step in getting that true, meaningful, godly friendship. The kind of friendship that reflects God's love. The kind of friendship that offers you peace. Even if you don't have that one person you trust, maybe go out and make a friend. Go, if you go to church, maybe sit by someone who's sitting alone, or if you go in groups, maybe talk to someone you've never talked to before, or reach out to someone. Reach out to someone that God tells you to reach out. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. But friendships aren't just nice to have, they're critical for our well being, for our emotional, mental, and spiritual health. When you invest in those meaningful friendships, you're not just helping yourself, you're fulfilling God's design for connection. I was going to end off on a good note, but my. Bye, guys.